Have you ever wondered why the man who ignores the most often gets the most attention? Why does attraction seem to fade faster the more interest you show? There is an uncomfortable truth that most modern men have forgotten, but human nature understands very well. Being too available kills desire. It's not that women like being treated badly. It's that they are biologically wired to look for something stable in a world full of uncertainty. Imagine you are in a desert and you are very thirsty. If someone gives you a bottle of water for free, you drink it and forget about it. But if you see a clear water source behind a strong stone wall, a source that doesn't ask for your attention but looks self-sufficient, your mind becomes curious. You want to know what is there. You want to be the one who reaches it. That is Stoicism applied to social dynamics. In the first 10 seconds of this video, understand this. The coldness shown by a Stoic man is not a lack of feelings. It is emotional control. While other men are like paper boats that sink with the first comment or rejection, the calm man is like a warship. He doesn't get shaken. He doesn't react. And this lack of reaction triggers something in female psychology. Curiosity. In this video, we are not talking about cheap manipulation games. We will understand through the minds of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus why your silence can show more power than 1,000 words. We will explore why mystery is the most valuable thing in attraction and how you can become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase because his nature makes him the prize. Stay until the end, because the fifth part of this video contains the exact psychological key to go from being the always available friend to becoming the unavoidable obsession of whoever you choose. First, the mirror of self-sufficiency. The first big secret of why coldness attracts is self-sufficiency. A Stoic man does not look for external validation. As Epictetus said, no one is free if he is not master of himself. When a man appears cold, what he is really showing is that his happiness does not depend on the response of the woman in front of him. Imagine this scene. An average man gets a message and replies in 3 seconds. If she doesn't reply, he sends another message. His emotions go up and down depending on the scene status. She has full control over his mood. Now, look at the Stoic man. He has a purpose, a mission. If she texts, he replies when he can. If she pulls away, he doesn't chase her. Why? Because his center is within himself, not in her. This creates something called a cognitive challenge. Most men are predictable. Predictability is the enemy of attraction. When she meets a man who doesn't react in the usual way, her mind starts trying to figure him out. Why doesn't he chase me? Why doesn't he get nervous when I look at him? What makes him feel so confident without me? As Seneca said, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste a lot of it. A Stoic man values his time more than approval. This kind of calmness is seen as high value. In nature, only top predators can afford to stay calm and silent. Prey are always nervous, moving, and making noise. When you act with this calm energy, you are telling her instinct, I am the prize. I am not afraid of losing you. Second, the law of contrast and mystery. Robert Greene, in The Laws of Human Nature, explains that humans are driven by what we don't have. The cold man uses, consciously or unconsciously, the law of scarcity. If you are always there, you become part of the background. And if you are just background, you stop being interesting. Stoicism teaches premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of problems. A Stoic man has already accepted that he could lose everything, even the person he loves, and still be okay. That acceptance gives him a kind of freedom that feels magnetic. A woman becomes obsessed because she tries to understand what is behind that calm mask. A real example. Imagine a party. All the men are trying to impress, speaking loudly, showing off their cars or achievements. In the corner, there is one man who just observes, who speaks little, who is not trying to prove anything. Who do you think gets the attention? Mystery creates investment. She has to make an effort to get a smile from him, to learn something personal. and what is earned with effort is valued 10 times more. Carl Jung talked about the shadow. The cold man seems to be in touch with his shadow, the part of himself that does not need to please others. This is deeply attractive because it suggests strength and protection. If he can say no to his own impulsive desires and stay calm instead of chasing, then he can also stay strong in the face of life's difficulties. Coldness is not the absence of love, it is the presence of character. Third, emotional stability. One of the main ideas of Stoicism is the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. A Stoic man knows that he cannot control the feelings of others, only his own reactions. This is the key to emotional stability. When a woman tests a man, what modern psychology calls tests, she is trying to measure his strength. If she acts cold and he becomes desperate, he fails. If she cancels a meeting and he gets upset or demands explanations, he fails. The cold man, the Stoic, simply says, "That's fine. Let me know if you change your mind," and continues with his life. This lack of reaction is what creates obsession. She feels that she cannot shake him, and if she cannot shake him, it means he is a leader. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock against which the waves keep breaking, but it stays steady and controls the force of the water around it." Why do they become obsessed? Because a man who does not break under emotional pressure shows a level of confidence that 99% of men don't have. In a world full of nice and overly pleasing men who ask for permission to exist, the man with clear boundaries and unshakable calm becomes something rare and deeply attractive. His coldness shows that his emotions are not for sale. 4. The paradox of desire. Schopenhauer said that life moves like a pendulum between pain and boredom. In relationships, this pendulum swings between chasing and losing interest. The cold man stops this pendulum in the middle. He does not chase, so he does not create the boredom of being too easy. Obsession is born in empty space. If you fill all the space with messages, calls, and compliments, you leave no room for her to think about you. The Stoic man understands the power of space. By not always being present physically or digitally, he forces the other person's imagination to work. And imagination is far more powerful than reality. In her mind, she creates an ideal version of you because you haven't given her enough pieces to complete the puzzle. Think about selective attention. The cold man gives attention only when it is earned, not for free. This is basic conditioning. If you reward average behavior with your presence, you will get more average behavior. If you pull back your attention when things are not aligned with your values, she will start trying to earn her place back in your life. Remember what Epictetus said: "Do not try to make things happen the way you want, but instead wish for things to happen as they do, and you will be at peace." This full acceptance of reality removes anxiety from a man. A man without anxiety is a man with power, and power has always been the strongest attraction in history. 5. The awakening of the inner warrior. This is the most important point of the journey. You must understand that this is not about pretending to be cold like a mask you wear during the day and remove at night. It is about building such a strong inner foundation that coldness becomes a natural result of your strength. If you try to fake it, women will notice. Human instinct is very good at detecting desperation hidden behind fake indifference. Stoicism is not a performance for social media. It is a way of living for men who have decided their value is not up for negotiation. The reason women become obsessed with the Stoic man is not because he lacks emotion, but because he has a strong sense of purpose. A man who is busy building something, training his body, and improving his mind simply does not have the time to chase endlessly. He does not have the time or the mental energy to go around begging for attention on WhatsApp. That is real coldness. Making your own growth the top priority. When your life is so full and interesting that a woman becomes a valuable addition, but not the center of your world, you become naturally magnetic. Here is the final key I promised you. Her obsession is not because of your silence. It is because of your freedom. She wants to be part of a world that is already strong and stable. No one wants to move into a house with cracked walls and a roof about to collapse. Everyone wants to enter a solid stone fortress that has survived many storms. Be that fortress. Practice what the ancient masters called true mastery. Not as a lack of feeling, but as complete immunity to unnecessary drama and outside manipulation. Starting today, make a shift in your mindset. Stop asking yourself in the mirror, "Why doesn't she text me?" Or "What am I doing wrong?" Start asking, "How can I be 1% stronger today than I was yesterday?" Stop chasing her obsession and start chasing your own excellence. Ironically, the exact moment you stop worrying about whether she's obsessed or not is the moment she won't be able to get you out of her mind. Because you will stop being a satellite that revolves around her and become a sun with its own gravity. Most men who started watching this video already closed it. They went back to their cycle of anxiety and cheap validation. But you stayed. You understood that silence is the language of the strong, and calmness is the greatest form of attraction. To recognize the few who are ready for this level of mastery, let's make a pact of discipline. The ancient Greeks had a word for this state of absolute calm, for that peace of mind that no woman and no problem can take away from you. If you have decided that from today your center of gravity will be within you and no one else, comment the word ataraxia. By writing it, you are drawing a line in the sand. You are saying that you are the owner of your reactions and that your mind is your conquered territory. I will be reading and supporting those who take this step. Own your silence and you will own your destiny. See you at the top.